For centuries, human knowledge was like a scattered puzzle. Pieces spread across continents, whispered through scrolls, and guarded by priests and philosophers. But there was a moment in time when the world tried to gather all its wisdom in one place. That place was the Great Library of Alexandria, the beating heart of the ancient world. It wasn't just a building filled with books. It was a living organism, a place where curiosity was king, and every question sparked a dozen more. To the scholars who worked there, knowledge wasn't about power. It was about purpose. Founded around 283 BCE by Ptolemy the Ware Soter, one of Alexander the Great's generals, the library was part of a grander dream. Alexander had envisioned Alexandria as the world's new capital of learning, a bridge connecting Greece, Egypt, and the vast world beyond. Though he died before it was built, his successors carried his torch. They created a city unlike any other, with marble streets, towering lighthouses, and a harbor so vast that merchants from Africa, Asia, and Europe all crossed paths within it. At the city's center rose the Mausion, the Temple of the Muses, the 9 goddesses of art and science. Attached to it was the Great Library. Inside, beneath its grand roof, were thousands upon thousands of papyrus scrolls. Some estimates claim 500,000, others say nearly 1,000,000. Each scroll was handwritten, patiently copied by scribes under the warm, flickering glow of oil lamps. The air itself was thick with the scent of ink, papyrus, and the salty breeze from the nearby sea. Every single ship that entered Alexandria's bustling port was searched. Any document, book, or scroll found on board was brought to the library to be copied. The originals were kept. The copies were returned to their owners. This was called the right of seizure, and through it, the library amassed the largest collection of knowledge the world had ever known. Its halls echoed with a symphony of languages: Greek, Egyptian, Hebrew, Persian, Sanskrit, and even tongues from as far away as India and China. Within these very walls, Euclid laid the foundations of geometry. Eratosthenes calculated the circumference of the Earth with astonishing accuracy. Herophilus dissected the human body to map its intricate systems. And Aristarchus proposed that the Earth revolved around the Sun, nearly 1700 years before Copernicus would be celebrated for the same idea. They debated philosophy, mapped the stars, treated diseases, and dared to question the gods themselves. Just imagine walking through those marble corridors, hearing the soft unrolling of scrolls, the hushed whispers of scholars, the scratching of quills on papyrus, and the eternal humming sound of human curiosity. But greatness has enemies. The brighter a flame burns, the darker the shadows it casts. No one knows for sure how the library fell, but legends speak of 3 great destructions. The first blow came in 48 BCE, when Julius Caesar pursued his rival Pompey into Egypt. During the ensuing civil war, Caesar ordered the ships in Alexandria's harbor to be set ablaze to block his enemies. The fire leaped from the ships to the shore, and soon the flames reached the warehouses where countless scrolls were stored. The smoke of burning knowledge billowed into the night sky. Ancient historians claimed it burned for days. Yet some say the main library survived, wounded but not dead. New collections were gathered, and new scholars arrived, all determined to rebuild what had been lost. But fate wasn't finished. Centuries later, as the Roman Empire embraced Christianity, pagan temples and institutions were seen as dangerous relics of a bygone era. In 391 CE, the Serapeum, a daughter library, became a target. Mobs stormed its grounds, statues were toppled, and scrolls were destroyed. 1,000 years of science and philosophy scattered like ash in the wind. Still, a flicker of hope remained. Among the survivors was Hypatia, one of the first great female scholars, a brilliant mathematician, astronomer, and philosopher. Her lectures drew students from all over the world, but in 415 CE, amid rising religious tension, she was brutally murdered by a mob. Her death marked the symbolic end of Alexandria's golden age of reason. Then, in 642 CE, came the final legendary blow. Muslim armies captured the city. According to later writers, Caliph Omar supposedly ordered the remaining books to be burned, saying, "If their contents agree with the Quran, they are unnecessary. If they disagree, they are heretical." However, most modern historians believe this tale was a myth, woven centuries later to explain a loss that was already complete. In truth, the library didn't die in a single fire or by a single hand. It faded away slowly, eroded by war, neglect, and the relentless march of time. Each invasion, each riot, each new ruler took another piece until nothing was left. What vanished with it is simply beyond our imagination. The lost plays of Aeschylus and Sophocles, the medical texts of Hippocrates, the mathematical works of Archimedes, the secrets of ancient engineering, all gone. How many inventions, how many cures, how many ideas that could have reshaped our world were reduced to dust? We will never know. But the story of the Great Library is not just one of despair. It is also a story of survival. Because knowledge, once discovered, never truly dies. The scholars who once studied in Alexandria scattered across the Mediterranean. They carried fragments of that wisdom with them to Byzantium, to Baghdad, to Cordoba, and beyond. In the 8th century, these fragments helped ignite the Islamic Golden Age, a new era of incredible learning and science. And centuries later, those same ideas traveled back to Europe, fueling the Renaissance. In this way, the ashes of Alexandria became the fertile soil from which new knowledge grew. Even today, scientists, philosophers, and dreamers look back and wonder, what would humanity have become if the Great Library had survived? Maybe we would have landed on the moon centuries earlier. Maybe we would have mapped the human genome in ancient times. Or maybe, just maybe, we would have simply understood ourselves a little better. Perhaps the library's true gift was not its scrolls, but its vision. It showed us what humanity is capable of when curiosity has no borders, when learning is shared freely, and when cultures blend instead of clash. In 2002, more than 2,000 years later, the Bibliotheca Alexandrina opened its doors, a modern architectural masterpiece built on that same historic shore. Its purpose is to honor the spirit of the ancient library and rekindle that flame of universal knowledge. Inside, millions of books line circular walls shaped like the rising sun. Carved into its exterior are scripts from every known language, a powerful reminder that wisdom belongs to all of us. When visitors walk its halls, they are not just surrounded by books, they are surrounded by ghosts. The whispers of Euclid, Eratosthenes, Hypatia, and countless others still echo through the marble. Their message is simple: seek knowledge and share it. Empires fall, cities crumble, but knowledge endures. It transcends fire, war, and time itself. And as long as someone somewhere opens a book, asks a question, or dreams of understanding, the spirit of Alexandria lives on. So the next time you hold a book, open a page, or learn something new, remember this: you are continuing the work of the Great Library. You are keeping its flame alive. Because in the end, humanity itself is the library, and its greatest collection is the story of us all. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more journeys into our incredible past. See you next time.